Everyone, I'm Twinkle from writewise.com. That's WRITEWYZE.com. We help B2B tech startups, specifically in the cloud native space, frame their product positioning and build authority in their niche. The topic for today is killing sacred cows, why SEO and blogging don't work anymore in B2B tech marketing. So quite a controversial title because a lot of people I know still believe heavily in SEO and content marketing. And so we're going to bust some myths around them today. A bit about me. I've been a B2B tech marketer for over 15 years and been focusing specifically on using content to market technology products. I've been around for a while, seen quite a bit. And here's what I'm noticing. What I think's happening is that AI has eliminated traditional B2B tech marketing methods. How is this? Well, AI is flooding the world with average content. It's not easy for anybody to just go to ChatGPT. And if they're pretty good at prompting, they can actually come out with pretty good article in about half an hour's time. They can even ask for code snippets, give me examples of this topic, and it'll give you examples. So you can come out with a decent looking 1,000-word article in just about half an hour, starting with just a topic. Or even if you don't have a topic, just go there and give it your company name and ask it what topic should I write on, and you'll even get topic ideas. In a way, that's a good thing because, ChatGPT has lowered the barrier to creating content and has made it easier to get started with stuff. So, for topic generation, it's pretty good. For, creating an outline, it's really good. If you know what you want to write and you've got like a good idea and you want to take that idea and turn it into a bullet point outline, ChatGPT is great for that. So it has quickened the earlier steps of the content creation process, and that's a good thing. But what's happening as a result is that a lot more content is being created more easily now. And so with all of this content that looks average, there's now just a sea of tech content floating around. It's honestly a flood of content because of AI. Before, what used to work is consistent blogging. Every week, 2 blog posts. That's our strategy. To know what to blog about, we need to figure out our SEO first. So let's get an SEO agency or an SEO expert. They're going to do keyword research. They'll create a brief, a one-page brief saying target this keyword and cover these main points, keep the article this length so that we can beat all of the competitors on page 1 of Google. Sounds very familiar, right? That's how most B2B marketers think. So they get the SEO expert or agency on one. That's their first plan and their main strategy for content. And then they get a good technical content writer, combine the thing. Sometimes the SEO agencies come with a content writer that they prefer. Sometimes the company says, no, we've got our content writer, freelancers or in-house. And so you work with them. So these two, SEO and the content, these two teams or individuals come together and create consistent blog content. And this gets published. That's the norm. But the reason this is not working anymore is that there's just too much of this that's being done now. The amount of content generated now is just so much that it's hard to stand out. Everything looks the same. You go to any B2B tech website, go to that blog, all of the topics look like, yeah, I could have told this. This is what you get if you do this process. You'll come up with how to do XYZ with so-and-so. A few how-tos and some opinion pieces, but nothing really that catches your eye. It's more like, yeah, that's predictable. That's what a tool like them would be talking about. Yeah, I know what this post will probably be like. Click it, browse through, hardly spend much time, and you pass it. So it's very passable. There's a flood of content, making each content piece less valuable. 2, SEO itself is reactive. If you think of SEO and how it's done, you decide a bunch of keywords, and you target those keywords and try to create content to catch traffic from those keywords being searched on Google. It doesn't generate demand. It just captures the demand that's already there. SEO is not great for demand generation. So it fits somewhere later in the pipeline. It's not great for capturing or building attention earlier in the pipeline. Like I said earlier, SEO depends on content, right? They're two sides of the same coin. So if each piece of content is now less valuable, then the value of SEO as well is going down. You kind of notice these things, I think, if you're into B2B tech marketing, if you're a founder, if you're a product marketer, if you're a product builder, even product owner, you probably notice these things. You kind of feel what I'm saying. But let's dig a little deeper and see why this is happening. One of the ways I like to think of it is the shift we're going through from Google to ChatGPT. All right. Google gives us hundreds, thousands of links to browse through. The first page itself has so many links and a lot of information, and it leaves it up to us to sift through all that information and choose what we want and leave out the rest. That Google approach. ChatGPT came in and said, we're not going to overload you with all that information. We are going to sift through all of the information ourselves and give you just the filtered good stuff. We'll save you all of that time. So you ask ChatGPT the same question you ask Google. Google will give you 10 results. ChatGPT will give you just one precise answer. Which do we prefer? Do you want to take the effort to sift through all of those results? Or would we rather save all that time and just get this one clear answer? It's obvious, right? All of us want the one clear answer. That's what the world is moving to. And that's why ChatGPT is so popular today. We are moving from lots of noise to clear signal. We are moving from too much content to very carefully, precisely sifted quality short form content. We're moving from long form to short form. That's happening. And so when you think that generally the shift in the culture, it's also impacting how B2B tech marketing happens. So as a B2B tech buyer or consumer, we don't want to sift through 15 blog posts on a topic of which is the best tool to do monitoring for this particular use case. We don't want to read through 15 blog posts, read 3 white papers, and then compare 5 top solutions, 2 of them commercial and 3 of them open source. You don't want to do that. Instead, the much easier way is just go to ChatGPT and type in, this is my need, this is my use case. Prime it nicely, tell it all the details. And just ask what's the best option for you? What are my options? How do they compare with each other? And then in just a few interactions with ChatGPT in a matter of 5 to 10 minutes, you can be exactly sure that this particular tool is the one you should go for. We do that with a lot of the tools we use on a day-to-day basis these days. If you want a tool to do anything, track our personal finances, choose a note-taking tool, or choose a camera app, or even to pick the next cool video game that you want to play. All of this, we go to ChatGPT for all of these questions, and it sifts through all of those steps and directs us exactly to the answer we're looking for. That's happening in B2B tech as well. Prospects are now not interested in putting in all of the hard work to read to the load of content that you created. They just want to go to ChatGPT and type in their needs and get that exact response. So that's happening. I'd like to call this compressed consumption. The way people consume content is now compressed, gone from many search results to one response. Similarly, with B2B content marketing, it's gone from consistent blogging, 2 per week, and white papers and case studies and lead magnets and whatnot. Lots of web pages, all of that content together, which before used to catch all the SEO traffic, all of that is changing now. Now people are not going as much to Google to find their answers and preferred solutions. They're going to ChatGPT and the like, and they're looking for ChatGPT to sift through all of that and then come up with the solution that they're looking for. How does ChatGPT do this? ChatGPT is looking at all these different options and actually looking for signals to see which is the best, which can it recommend. Right? So ChatGPT itself is looking for ways to differentiate. I like to call this authority. ChatGPT is looking for signals of authority. It's looking to see which tool is the most recommended in a particular category. It reads through Reddit, conversation, Quora, Stack Overflow. It looks up the top 10 results on Google search for that category keywords. It gets a good idea of what's out there. These are the top solutions and how they rank, how they compare their feature set. Let's give it on to this person. So ChatGPT is doing that now, looking for authority. The game has shifted. No longer are we trying to impress Google and rank on the first page. That's old school. Instead, we're now thinking about how can my product or solution get recommended by ChatGPT. That's a more complex and interesting question to ask. And that's the future. So the game has changed. The key word, I think, is authority. All this old stuff is now not going to work. Just figuring out keywords, writing consistent blog posts, putting out resources for that, not going to work. What's going to work is really putting out high quality content that's way better than the average content that ChatGPT plus an average writer can come up with at scale. They're going to be building lots of mass average content. What you need to do is decide you're going to just do, even if it's a few pieces of content, it's going to be way better than the quality of this mass average content. Right? And start out that way, and you can scale over time and do more of that good content, but the focus is on quality. Beneath that is the idea of authority. You want to build authority for your brand, for your product, for what you're selling. To where that comes out, it cuts through the clutter. And your content says, I know what I'm talking about. It's unique. It's not like this other average stuff that's out there. That's what you need to do to stand out. Build your own authority for your brand, for your company. The interesting thing in all of this is, it's not just ChatGPT that's looking for authority signals. It's your own prospects and customers who are looking for authority signals. When they browse through your website and content on your blog, they're going to come there and check you out, and they're going to look for authority signals. Do these guys look like they know what they're talking about? Does it line up with what I believe? That's what they're going to assess you on. So when we say let's optimize not for Google, let's optimize for ChatGPT, we're not saying just blindly think of whatever works for ChatGPT. We're also saying whatever works for ChatGPT will also work for your prospects and your customers. And so what's a great way to build authority for a business, a B2B tech marketing company? One great way is to have someone who's the face of the company. And I know in the B2B tech space, this is frowned upon. It's the last resort because no one in B2B tech wants to show up in front of the camera, right? We're all camera shy, including me. It takes a lot of effort for me. I've decided I'm going to do it. You take a founder, a lead engineer, a CTO, product manager, a DevRel guy. What are they doing? They're focused on different things. That's their core job. They're building the product, writing code. They're managing teams that write code. They are building a community around the product. That's their main focus, right? They don't want to show up in front of a camera. That's the last thing they want to do. It takes too much time. It's too much to worry about, and it doesn't come naturally. So that's what is needed to have someone as the face of your company who can really build authority. Of course, there are other ways to do this, having a face of the company. And traditionally, what people have been doing is, have ghostwriting happen. So it's just ghostwritten content, but that's not really genuine. The ideas are all just content writer ideas that are rehashed, repackaged, sent through AI, and then published. The subject matter expert within your organization might just sign off on a couple of pieces. Even to get them to do that is a hard task, but they know it's not genuinely their voice. They just got their name attached to it for publicity's sake. So they can share it on their LinkedIn and maybe someone would contact them. That's not genuine, and it's not authentic. There's a way to go about all of this, which I'll talk about in another video. But I just wanted to talk about the issue we're facing as a B2B tech marketing community today. Some ideas to how we should think about approaching these challenges we face is adopt some of the marketing practices and strategies that work in B2C. B2C got this a long time ago, that you need to start with authority. They call it influencer marketing. You look at any of the B2C brands, whether fashion, makeup, or even food products, anything at all that's B2C, a lot of these brands, they're actually approaching influencers on Instagram, YouTube, and elsewhere, and getting them to recommend them. Or, even if not approaching outsiders, even within their own company, they're starting to build influencers who represent their own product, their own business. Influencer marketing is a known and mature concept in B2C marketing. B2B is late to the party, unfortunately. We're still very hesitant to put people in front of a camera and make them an integral part of our B2B tech marketing strategy. But I think that's needed. It's time. If we don't do that, we're just going to look like everyone else. We use a ChatGPT generated content. That's not what we want. We're not going to see results doing that. To recap, AI has made traditional SEO and blogging obsolete. It's not working anymore. If you're doing it the old way, getting an SEO guy, getting a bunch of content writers who use AI, and then just creating a content machine of sorts, stop right now. That's just not working. Obviously, pull out your budget from that. It's not going to give you any results. That's the first thing. And the second key point that I wanted to make is that authority is the new SEO. Authority is the new content marketing. Authority is the new blogging strategy. Authority is the new B2B tech marketing strategy. Authority is what you need to be thinking of. Because ChatGPT is looking for authority signals so they can recommend you. And your own prospects and customers, once they find you through ChatGPT, are going to come to your website and your blog to see if you really stand out from the flood of AI content out there. Or are you just like one of them? That's it for this episode. If you like what you heard, tune in next time. I got a lot more to share on this. I'll be going more in depth. This is kind of an overview and kind of the key points I wanted to make, but I'll be sharing in more detail, and I hope you'll join me on this journey. See you on the next one.